So Pai Da, patting and striking, really invigorates the blood. It helps harmonize the exterior and the interior. It strengthens what's called the yin qi and the wei qi, the nutritive and the protective qualities of qi in the body, according to Chinese medical theory. Helps the body become more robust and resilient, helps invigorate, but also helps strengthen the outside, which is important for immunity and keeping pathogens out. It also penetrates deep to move pathogens that might be stuck and help them disperse, as well as stagnation of qi in blood. This is all within Chinese medical theory as far as invigorating and moving out stagnation to increase health. During the time of this filming, the world is going through the COVID-19 coronavirus epidemic. And right now it's become more important than ever to really help ourselves become resilient and to build our immunity and to get through a sickness without having to necessarily depend on the healthcare system that might be stressed enough as it is with the most vulnerable of people who really need those resources. So this is a very natural, somewhat intuitive method of strengthening our body and our immunity, and also helping invigorate our body to kick out whatever pathogens happen to be bothering us. Patting methods were used by Buddhists and Daoists in China. Oftentimes they'd be traveling, they wouldn't have a lot of resources, so they need to keep their health vigorous so that they could travel, and if they became ill, they often didn't have the means to see a doctor, or they lived in remote places. So this became one of the common methods used to strengthen health, also used therapeutically to treat different forms of illness. So it's one of the healing without medicine practices, using your own hands and your own resources to both strengthen your body and also heal your body from sickness. All right, today we're going to do the Luohan patting method, one of the practices from healing it without medicines from Yin style Bagua from the late Dr. Peiqi. These particular set of exercises holds a lot of fond memories for me. When we would do workshops and intensives, we would usually at the end of the day doing the patting method, and it was always a lot of fun. Dr. Xie he was missing a few teeth, so he'd get this big gummy smile, especially when everyone was trying to keep up with the rhythm. There are some more traditional and specific sequences to the patting method, like strengthening the 4 cavities, opening the 4 gates, stimulating the 12 meridians, and strengthening the 8 extraordinary meridians. But we're just going to do a real basic head to toe, covering the full body method today that's pretty simple. So some things that I want to mention is when we're patting, we want to hold our fingers gently together, and we can even make a little bit of a hollow shape with our hand. You can do it flat. This is more dispersing quality when you do it flat, and when you have a cupped hand, it creates a percussion that goes deeper into the body, and it's a deeper stimulation. It's more harmonizing and stimulating. The flat hand is a little bit more dispersing. So the flat hand brings the energy, the qi, the blood more to the surface, and the deep, nourishing palm sends the percussion through all the way down to the bone and to the organs. It's more harmonizing, has a bit of a nourishing, invigorating, strengthening quality to it as well. So there's definitely something to patting, and in Chinese, pai da means patting and striking. So it's a more rigorous contact. When we pat, we sink our weight of our palm into the body. We're not tapping and releasing and coming out like this. We're really sinking down and really letting the percussion go deep into the body. So you can use this as a preventative measure to build your immunity and resilience. This is also a good light practice that you can do when you are sick, just to get things moving and to help the turnover as far as kicking out pathogens and making a recovery. So if you're doing this for health and immunity, you can do it a little bit more vigorous. And if you are sick, you can use it just to move and enliven the body to help kick out and turn over whatever pathogen you might be fighting, and to help your recovery. So you want to go to your own comfort. You might want to start a little bit light, but as you get used to this, you start to go heavy, and then you can really start to really lay it on, letting the arms be nice and heavy. This is invigorating your body, but it's also the foundation for building a robust body, in Chinese sometimes called the iron body, where it becomes very resilient to impact because the tissues are just strong and resilient. But the first benefit is for health, to invigorate the tissues. Any part of your body that might feel a little achy or sore or like it doesn't want to get the patting method, then just hold off, either stop altogether or go light so it feels comfortable. There might be places where there's some stagnation or some pain that you really need to go light, and think of it more as like a therapeutic percussion than getting anything deep. But as you do this for a while, you'll find that your force that you use starts to really increase, and you can start to really use a lot of force as your body becomes more resilient. This is one of the traditional strengthening exercises for your body, at first for your health, and then martial artists would use this method and graduate onto more advanced methods to strengthen the tissues of their body. Stick around to the end of the video. I'll show a couple very specific therapeutic methods using the padding for the knees, for congested lungs, and then also fatigue. So with my students who I've shown this method to, and we practice it and we get away from it a little while, they'll commonly ask when we're going to start doing it again. It's a lot of fun, it feels great, it's easy to do, so I hope you enjoy it. So one prerequisite to this exercise is you want to loosen up, you want to have a little fun. You might look a little silly, you might make a little noise, but you're worth it, so have fun. So as we go along, you'll find that there's a nice rhythm, but we'll start off with the harmonizing practice, and I'll walk you through this a little bit slow, and then it becomes a little bit easier to follow as we go along. So to start off, we're going to have our cupped palms, fingers gently together, a little bit of hollow. We're going to do one strike in the back, right on the buttocks, here on the upper corner of the chest here, below the scapula, right where these lung points are. We're going to come across again to the other side, here, and back again. And this becomes our natural padding rhythm. So one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And now let's try the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I apologize if I'm smacking the microphone, but go back and work on that to get that rhythm, and then it should become quite natural. 1, 2, 3. And so here we're invigorating the chest and then the lower pelvic cavity as well. But this is how we harmonize. This is usually the way we start and end our practice. All right, we're going to start up at the cranial cavity. I'm going to lose my glasses for a moment. Here we want to tuck our chin and lift our head to make sure we're nicely aligned. We'll start here at the top. And we're going to take some care with the back of our head. We're going to hold firm with the front and lightly pat the back of our head. Then we're going to come to our face, lightly patting with 4 fingers. Make sure that your face is relaxed, you're not tensing at all. Pat patting around the eye orbit. Very lightly and carefully patting the ears. And down into the throat. We're going to move over to the upper chest. Then down the arm. Back of the hand, up the arm, over the shoulder, the top of the back, the other side. Now we're going to move to the lower chest here, below the breasts into the rib cage here. Come over to the side underneath. Then we move down to the abdomen. Now we start to go down the inside aspect of the legs. Outside. And then to our pelvic cavity, through our glutes, our low back. Now we're going to get into our kidneys. We're going to alternate palms and just lightly pat with our palms or our loose fists. We don't want to pat too hard here as our kidneys are a little bit sensitive. All right, after we go through the whole body, we go back to our harmonizing practice. Other side. Then finish. So back when we trained this and we'd have a group of like 40, 50, 60 people in a room all doing this, you couldn't help get some giggles and some laughs, especially with Dr. Shea laughing, looking at everybody and kind of wondering if he's just doing it to see if we would do it. So after our patting practice, we're going to use some combing and really help smooth everything out. Now that we've got everything invigorated, we just want to comb and smooth all the surfaces of the body from the top to the bottom. Just a nice light hand. Just like you're brushing a puppy. Nice and relaxed. And then you can shake it out a little bit. Get nice and relaxed. And you're ready to go. So for myself and for many, knee problems become an issue, arthritis, recovering from injury, strain, all that stuff. So there's a very simple patting method to help with the health of the knees. You bring the fingers together, make a little bit of a hollow, and on either side of the knee, you do some patting. And this is great because it gets percussion all the way into the joint capsule, the tendons, places that don't get a lot of blood flow. So this is a really great method to bring some nutrients, some stimulation to those tissues, help them heal, recover from stress, injury, strain, whatever. So here we go. Make sure that you're clapping on either side so the percussion goes evenly through. We don't want to slap one side or the other. We're just going to come through. So you do that for a few minutes, and then I like to, kind of with the hands nice and warm, gently grasp the knee and do a little bit of vibrating, a little bit of shaking. Again, bringing some stimulation to these deep tissues to help with their recovery from whatever you might have going on. We can use this as a self-healing therapeutic method for the lungs if we're recovering or experiencing cold or flu symptoms, coughing, congestion, phlegm in the chest. When the infection starts to get lower and lower and actually affecting the lungs, we can use this to help loosen up the phlegm, also enliven the tissues and help with the turnover and help with recovery. So we're going to use our flat palm here, and we want to send the percussion into the chest. So when we do this, we're pretty robust here, so we can use a fair amount of force, and we want to let the percussion go all the way into the body. So, and it's also helpful if we lift our chin a little bit and expand our chest a little bit just to help open up the tissues. And even if you are experiencing coughing, you can add the padding to the coughing to help expectorate phlegm. More often, it's affecting the top lobes, so staying up here is probably going to be your best bet. But certainly, if it's starting to get lower into the chest, you can move lower with your padding method. So continue that to your comfort to help recover and to expectorate phlegm and to get rid of whatever is getting stuck into your lungs. This is more like a purging, healing practice. For fatigued, I've often used this driving long hours, driving at night. I'm starting to get a little sleepy, working on the computer, needing to invigorate. I'll use padding on the head to wake up the senses. It's almost like taking a nice cold bath, really getting the senses invigorated to overcome that fatigue, increase clarity and focus, and continue with what you're doing. All right, I hope you feel invigorated, feel really good. My name's Garth Reynolds, founder of Bagua Internal Arts. Make it a great day.